That valley where 11 disappeared? It's real, it's in Iceland, and it has a name, Þjórsárvöllur. But getting there requires more than CGI. It takes a 4x4 seasonal timing and this 5-day route that gets you past the Instagram crowds. Day 1, the Volcanic Prelude. Your first day keeps you close to Keflavik Airport, which is strategic because you've likely just spent 6 hours in a middle seat and forgotten what legroom feels like. Before you head out, pick up your rental car at the airport. Most major providers like Blue Car Rental, Lava, or Hertz are either in the terminal or a quick 2-minute shuttle ride away. For this itinerary, especially the Highlands on day 2, we recommend a 4x4 vehicle. Iceland now charges a mileage tax automatically added to your final bill. With your keys in hand, you'll find that the Reykjanes Peninsula looks like a sci-fi set created by geology rather than special effects. Think cracked lava fields, steaming earth, and a specific shade of Icelandic gray that photographers spend entire careers chasing. If weather complicates your plans later in the trip, this area usually stays accessible when the Highlands don't, serving as a reliable safety start for winter travelers. Start your morning at the bridge between continents, a footbridge spanning the rift between the North American and Eurasian tectonic plates. While it's slightly touristy, standing with one foot on each continent is a wild reality check when you're only 40 minutes into your trip. The rift actually widens by about 2 centimeters every year. For proof for your travel brag collection, you can grab a certificate of crossing at the nearby visitor center. After you've grabbed that certificate, or just a photo, head over to the Seltún geothermal area at Reykjavik. This landscape is full of bubbling mud pots and sulfur vents releasing steam that smells like a heavy-duty chemistry experiment, and the mineral deposits paint the ground in yellows and greens. Please, stay on the marked paths. The ground is hot enough to cause serious burns, and every few years, a visitor learns that the hard way. The whole loop takes about 30 minutes, though half of that time will be spent taking photos. Trade the chemistry experiment for a ghost story by swinging over to Gunnuhver hot springs on the southwestern tip of the peninsula. Iceland's largest mud pot is named after a troublesome ghost named Gunna, who was trapped in the earth here 400 years ago, and locals say she's been boiling mad ever since. On windy days, the steam plumes rise high enough to be spotted from a distance and drift across the parking lot like a scene from a horror film. Insider tip: before you go any further, open SafeTravel.is on your phone to check for current volcanic activity. This peninsula has seen 9 eruptions since late 2023, and the Blue Lagoon has a habit of closing at short notice during these events. If the coast is clear, early afternoon is your window for a soak. You can choose the viral Blue Lagoon for those classic milky blue photos, or Sky Lagoon for a more local vibe and an infinity edge overlooking the North Atlantic. Either way, book in advance as walk-ups are unlikely. For dinner, you have 2 options based on your energy levels. For the true I'm on a budget experience, stop at any N1 or Olis station for a Pilsa Methila, the famous lamb hot dog. It's a national obsession and it's absolutely delicious. But if you prefer a proper table to celebrate your arrival, head to Messen in Selfoss. It's located in a historic building by the river and serves pan-fried Arctic char and copper skillets with butter-fried potatoes that you'll be scraping clean. Stay near Selfoss tonight to position yourself for tomorrow's early push into the Highlands, where we solve the 3 waterfalls mystery and tackle a road that requires a serious conversation before you put it in drive. For a place to stay, check our video description links for the best options. Before we hit day 2, we cover the world's best destinations with this level of detail. To travel smarter and discover your next bucket list adventure, subscribe so you don't miss out. Watching on a TV? Just scan the QR code with your phone. Day 2, the Stranger Things core. Today is what everything's been building toward. We're heading into the Highlands to find the waterfalls where Mike hopes 11 found peace. Your destination is Haifoss, a 122-meter drop that served as the backdrop for the series finale. Road 332 guards the entrance. The show made this look like a walk. Reality check: it's 7 kilometers of gravel that'll test your rental agreement. Signs warn no small cars, and they aren't suggestions. The potholes are deep enough to swallow a tire. Summer visitors, June through September, can self-drive this in a 4x4, about 30 minutes each way. Winter travelers need a Super Jeep tour as the road is unmaintained. When you reach the parking lot, it's a short walk to the viewpoint. The towering canyon carved by the Fossau River opens below you, with 2 waterfalls, Haifoss and its neighbor, Granni. To replicate the shot of 11 walking up the ridge, you want to stand at the main observation platform and angle your camera slightly left. This captures both waterfalls in the frame while keeping the sheer drop of the canyon in the foreground. Just be careful, because unlike 11, you don't have plot armor if you slip. Speaking of CGI, that village behind 11 isn't real. What you're actually seeing is raw wilderness near Mount Hekla, a volcano medieval Europeans once called the gateway to hell. You might notice there are only 2 waterfalls here, despite Mike mentioning 3 waterfalls. To solve that math, make your way 15 kilometers back toward Route 32 to Hjalparfoss. The name translates to Helps Falls, and since the road is paved, your suspension will finally get some relief. These twin cascades pour into a turquoise pool and complete the trifecta. At this point, you've likely worked up an appetite, so go into the nearby town of Flúðir to the Farmer's Bistro. It's the only mushroom farm in Iceland, and they serve a mushroom buffet featuring soup, bread, and mushroom butter that is surprisingly addictive, even if you're not usually a fungi person. Stay in Flúðir after lunch and enjoy a soak at the secret lagoon. Operating since 1891, it is Iceland's oldest natural geothermal pool. It's a no-frills experience, no swim-up bar or fancy mud masks, just you floating in 38 to 40 degrees Celsius water while small geysers erupt along the edge every few minutes. For dinner, head 10 minutes down the road to Mika in Reykjanes. It looks like a standard red house, but they are renowned for 2 things: handmade chocolates and wood-fired lobster, langoustine pizza. It may seem like a strange combination, but it's one of the best meals on the south coast. Stay in Flúðir or Reykjanes tonight or push 40 minutes south to Hella. Either spot positions you perfectly for the south coast tomorrow, where we trade the Highlands for the black sand beaches and waterfalls that everyone photographs. Day 3, the South Coast Spectacle. If there is one day to set an alarm for, it's this one. The South Coast is basically the greatest hits album of Iceland. Thundering waterfalls, black sand beaches, and sea stacks that look like the gods forgot to finish building the earth. But because it's spectacular, it gets flooded with tour buses from Reykjavik between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. To beat the crowds, you need to leave by 7 a.m., which sounds painful until you have the country's most famous waterfall to yourself. Your first stop is Seljalandsfoss, a 60-meter drop that allows you to walk fully behind the curtain of water. The path loops into a natural alcove, but the spray is intense. Rain jackets and rain pants are a must. Jeans will leave you soaked and cold for hours. In winter, check ahead, as the path behind the falls may close due to ice. Just 200 meters north, you'll find Gljúfrabúi, which hides inside a narrow canyon most tourists walk right past. To see it, you have to wade through a shallow stream and squeeze through a rock crevice barely wide enough for one person. Inside, the canyon opens into a hidden moss-covered chamber where the waterfall crashes right in front of you. It is loud, wet, and highly immersive. It feels like a secret, but your regular sneakers will betray you instantly, so keep those waterproof boots on. Once you climb back out, the drive to Skógafoss takes about 30 minutes along Route 1. You'll see it before you park. A sheer wall of water 25 meters wide and 60 meters tall that throws enough mist to create double rainbows on sunny mornings. There is a staircase of over 400 steps climbing to the top, and while your thighs will definitely complain, the view looking back down the coastline makes the cardio worth it. Time to refuel, and you have a reliable option directly in Vik. Stop at the Olis gas station for their lunch buffet. It sounds basic, but for a set price, you get unlimited kjötsúpa, traditional meat soup, bread, and coffee. It is actually solid food served at fast food speed, which buys you more time for exploring. With lunch finished, head to Reynisfjara Black Sand Beach. This beach is deadly. At least 6 people have died here since 2007, including a tragedy in 2025. Sneaker waves, powerful surges that strike without warning, can drag you into freezing water. Always stay 30 meters from the waterline and never turn your back on the ocean. Check the warning lights at the entrance. Green is okay with caution, yellow means stay back, and red means the famous basalt column cave is closed. Respect the ocean here so you can live to see day 4. As the adrenaline wears off, go back into Vik. For dinner, find the soup company in the village. It's family-run and well-known for their red-hot lava soup, a spicy meat soup served in a black bread bowl that looks like a volcanic rock. It's the best way to warm up after a windy day on the coast. Afterwards, take a walk up to the red-roofed church on the hill for a sunset view over the cliffs, which are dotted with puffins if you're here between May and August. Get some rest because tomorrow we are hacking the iconic Golden Circle by doing it in reverse to dodge the bus crowds. Day 4, the Golden Circle done right. Now a heads up, waking up in Vik means you have a 2.5-hour drive to reach the Golden Circle, so grab coffee and hit the road early. The Golden Circle earns its Disneyland reputation only if you follow tour bus timing. Coming from Vik, you'll hit stops in reverse. Waterfall at sunrise, geysers mid-morning, National Park at 4 p.m. when buses leave. Start your morning at Gullfoss, where the Hvítá River drops in 2 stages into a canyon that seems to swallow the water entirely. On sunny mornings, the mist catches the light and throws rainbows across the viewing platforms. But in winter, the spray freezes mid-air, crusting the rocks in ice. A path leads toward the canyon edge, but if you are visiting in winter, bring crampons. The stairs ice over, and a fall here ranges from embarrassing to trip-ending. When you've soaked up the mist, continue 10 minutes to the Geysir geothermal area. The original Geysir, the one that literally gave its name to all geysers worldwide, mostly sleeps now. But Stroker picks up the slack. It blasts 20 to 30 meters high every 5 to 10 minutes with enough reliability that you can actually set your camera and wait for it. Just make sure to position yourself upwind, unless you enjoy a face full of sulfur. Lunch today is an experience in itself at Friðheimar, but it requires advanced booking. You'll eat inside a working tomato greenhouse surrounded by 27,000 plants growing under artificial sunlight while bumblebees pollinate overhead. Their bottomless tomato soup with fresh bread and Happy Mary cocktails sounds gimmicky until you taste it. It's seriously fantastic. Reserve through dineout.is to avoid the noon rush when tour groups arrive. Following lunch, take a quick detour to the Kerið Crater, a 3,000-year-old caldera that most standard itineraries skip because it charges admission. Steep red walls drop to an impossibly blue lake at the bottom, and a trail loops the rim in just 15 minutes. It's a quick stop, but the contrast of the red rock and blue water makes for one of the best photos of the trip. Close out the sightseeing portion of your day at Thingvellir National Park, where the Alþingi Parliament first convened in 930 AD, making it the site of the world's oldest parliamentary gathering. Vikings traveled from across Iceland to settle disputes here, and you can still see the drowning pool near the main rift where they occasionally executed criminals. Walk the Alman Agjá Rift to stroll down the literal tear in the Earth's crust before driving 45 minutes into the capital. Check into your hotel in downtown Reykjavik. This will be your base for the rest of the trip. We've linked some excellent places to stay in the description below, along with the tours mentioned in this video, including that winter Super Jeep waterfall adventure. For dinner, we're keeping it authentic at Íslenski barinn, the Icelandic bar. It's a cozy pub-style spot where you can try the signature reindeer burger, or if you're feeling brave, the fermented shark with a shot of brennivine to wash it down. It's a rite of passage, but don't say we didn't warn you about the smell. Get some rest because tomorrow we are wrapping up with the best food in the city and one final soak before your flight. Day 5, the deep dive in Reykjavik. Most people fly out on day 5, treating it as a layover, but since you booked a morning flight on day 6, trust us on this, you've got one full day to see Reykjavik properly, not as an afterthought, but as a finale. Start your morning at Hallgrímskirkja, the concrete church that dominates the skyline. Its design mimics the hexagonal basalt columns you saw at the waterfalls earlier in the trip. Iceland's geology translated into architecture. Take the elevator to the tower for a 360-degree view over the colorful corrugated rooftops and the mountains across the bay. With the city sprawling below you, wander downhill toward the water to see Harpa Concert Hall. Its geometric glass facade was inspired by crystallized basalt, and the way the light hits the honeycomb windows makes it a kaleidoscope you'll want to photograph. The interior is free to explore, so wander in and admire the architecture that won the European Union Prize for Contemporary Architecture. By the time you reach the old harbor, you'll likely be ready for lunch, so look for a green-painted fisherman's shack called Siggrafin, or the Sea Baron. It has been serving lobster soup since 2003, and the vibe is no-frills perfection. Think wooden benches and fishing nets on the walls. The soup is rich, creamy, and tastes like the ocean did something right, especially when paired with a grilled fish skewer. For the rest of the afternoon, let the weather make your decision for you. If it's raining or you missed the northern lights, head up the hill to Perlan. It's a museum built inside giant hot water tanks that features a real indoor ice cave and a planetarium show that recreates the aurora borealis in 8K resolution. Basically the best insurance policy for seeing the highlights if nature didn't cooperate. But if the skies are clear and you want to brave the North Atlantic one last time, book a whale watching tour from the harbor to spot minke whales and white-beaked dolphins in Faxaflói Bay. We're skipping the gas station hot dogs for your final meal. Instead, head to Matar Kjatal Arin, the food cellar located in a historic basement downtown. It has a speakeasy vibe with live piano music, and if you want to go out with a bang, order their secret menu, a 6-course surprise tasting where the chefs send out whatever is freshest that day. It's the ideal send-off before your flight tomorrow. 5 days, 2 tectonic plates, 3 waterfalls, and a peninsula that feels like another dimension. The show was just the inspiration. This itinerary is the blueprint. Planning more European adventures? Our Europe Travel Itineraries playlist follows the same utility-first approach, which we've linked below. As the Icelandic proverb goes, blind is a man without a book. Or, in this case, a well-researched guide from Itinerary Insiders. Thanks for planning with us, and see you in the next one.